man has no hair. The other 99, full head of hair. Maybe I should be worried that my forehead is growing. How worried should men really be about losing their hair? Spencer Stevenson knows. When he started losing his, he spent tens of thousands on hair transplants. Some went well, others didn't. He now runs a website, spexhair.com. Podcasts, writes about how people are affected by hair loss, and joins us this afternoon on BBC Radio Stoke. Hi Spencer, thanks for coming on this afternoon. What's this about stem cells then? What could they do for people who are losing their hair?
Oh, well, thanks for having me on the show. The stem cell media blast is a bit of a reciprocating one in terms of, rotating one, beg your pardon. We heard about it a couple of years ago, and, it's always a few years away, this so-called cure. I think, essentially, it could well happen, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think the reality of the situation is that I think they'll clone much more important organs before they clone hair. The hair industry is a multi-billion-pound-a-year industry. So, some private companies will pump a lot of money into this because they'll get a big payout on their investment if it works. However, I genuinely don't think it's anytime soon. I think my son's son may benefit from some form of hair cloning. But I think at the end of the day as well, remember that hair's got to be transplanted, even if it was able to be cloned. So you're going to need a good, ethical, reliable, skillful surgeon to be able to transplant that cloned hair if it's of good quality and robust enough to be able to work. But I don't honestly think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think, unfortunately, it's going to prey on the vulnerable and the desperate, as the hair loss industry notoriously does. And a lot of people will be getting their hope up that it'll be happening around the corner, when the reality of the situation, it isn't.
Why is going bald such a problem for some men, emotionally?
Your hair gives you your identity. It's who you are. It enables you to have self-confidence, self-worth, self-esteem. Now, I'm not saying that people that are bald don't have those. However, the reality and the fact of the matter is losing your hair does dent those. And it's a very difficult process to deal with, losing your hair, because it's out of your control. There's a huge emotional and psychological aspects that come with the loss of hair, which, as I say, until you've experienced it, it's very, very difficult to really get your head around. However, the reality is there's hundreds of thousands of men that interact daily online, sharing their concerns and their anxieties. We run a radio show called The Bald Truth. There are forums such as The Bald Truth Talk. There are thousands of guys interacting, sharing and venting their issues with the emotional aspects as well as the physical ones that come along with hair loss. And it's a harsh reality. But that's why the hair loss industry is a multi-billion-pound-a-year one, because people would rather have hair than not have hair. As I find on a daily basis, dealing with hundreds of guys that email me to get advice on appropriate proven treatments that work. Then the industry has products and services that are sold. 99% of them do not work. There's a lot of snake oil, a lot of bogus treatments, a lot of carrots dangled with regards to the hope to cure your hair loss. And sadly, there aren't that many treatments that actually can help prevent further loss and regrow hair. And then once you get down into the head transplantation route to actually relocate and regrow hair, it is a minefield, given the plethora of pop-up clinics that are opening up daily, claiming to be the world's leading best clinic, when the reality is there's only a handful of surgeons that can across the board. There's hundreds of them, but in reality, to the number that are performing surgery, there's a handful that actually are performing surgery very, very well and ethically in the best interest of the patient. And there are organisations such as FUE Europe, the International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons, that make sure that surgeons are held accountable so that they serve in the best interest of the patients and look out for them so that they get the best surgery possible and that they are looked after in a way that, you should be. And just be careful, anybody that is researching hair transplantation, that you do your due diligence and utilize those resources mentioned to get really informed and empowered.
We've spoken several times on the programme before, and I don't know that I've ever asked you this. Is there a difference, do you think, in terms of the psychology of having a hair transplant to wearing a toupee, a hairpiece, or a wig?
There's a huge difference. I've done both. I wore a hair system, a wig, a number of years ago now. However, I couldn't emotionally deal with it. I just felt like there was a foreign third party, a foreign body, so to speak, on my head. It didn't allow me to be me. I was very self-conscious of it. Whereas opposed to a hair transplant, if you get a good hair transplant, the irony is you don't even think about it. So, yeah, there is, each to their own. Not everybody is a hair transplant patient. So systems and wigs are an option. However, this is where your research needs to come in. You need to find out what is right for you. Try it. The best thing you can do if you are a hair loss sufferer, in my honest opinion, is try and shave all your hair off and try and deal with actually having, if hair loss is affecting you, shave it all off and see how you can deal with it. And you might find you'll save yourself a lot of trauma, anxiety, expense, and time trying to resolve the issue when you can actually deal with a fantastic look with a shaved head. There's also treatments like ATP, SMP, which is tattooing of the scalp, which can provide you that A-list celebrity 5-clock shadow like The Rock, So there are options, but surgery is a last resort. So make sure you do your research and look at different options that are available. But to answer your question, pursuing both treatments, a wig and hair transplant, personally, I felt much more comfortable once I got my situation resolved with a bad hair transplant. With a good hair transplant, nobody will know. You feel very natural, and it's your hair. It's growing on your body,
Absolutely. Spencer, great to talk to you as always. Spencer Stevenson. Find out more about him and his work at Specs Hair, SPEX Hair.com. It's 17 minutes.